Hey, welcome to Mr. Smith's Garage. Hey, so you may wonder, why do I look the way I do, right? Of course, people are always wondering that. Well, um, today, this evening, what I'm working on is I want to clean this up a little bit before we start working on it. So you can see my my inner seals here are basically glued in, but they were leaking. You can actually see, since I cleaned it out, you can see there's still some seepage there. So I'm gonna clean this all up. We're gonna do power spraying out in the rain. It is raining this evening, and so do a little power spraying. I'm not gonna show you much of that, but we'll be back. This will be a little bit cleaner, and we'll start digging into it a little bit. All right. Once again, hey, thanks for joining me. Like the video if you like it, and subscribe if you want to see more content of what I do. You can kind of see it out on my channel. We not only work on air-cooled Volkswagen Vanagons, but also we've got a lot of stuff in the garage here. Under cover here is Porsche 944. Right behind me here is Jack, the 81 Vanagon. Got a couple of 96 XPs out, Sea-Doo, out in the driveway, and also have an 82 Vanagon tin-topped named Jill. Love having you on the channel. Okay, a little wet. It's wet out there. Like I said, I live in Northern California, and we've had a little bit of rain. I think in the last 8 hours, we've had here over 4.5 inches. But it felt like it was a good time to get out and clean up the old Transaxle. So looking a little cleaner. Need to make sure that I dry this off pretty well. So I'm gonna do that next. Make sure I don't have any rust when we're done. Looks good though. Might have to redo a few things on here. I know for sure we're going to take the seals out. This is what our learning process. We're going to take our inner seal out, and or the outer seal and the inner seal. Got the new seals here, and the new inner seals here. So we're going to practice on this transaxle, and once I got it down, figured out how to do it pretty well. I don't think it's going to be that hard, but I haven't done it before. Then we'll jump underneath Jill with the engine and transaxle in, remove her axles, fix her seals because they're leaking. It's not a huge leak, but it's a drip, and I don't like drips. So we're going to fix those seals, and then and then we'll have this one all done and that one done, and should be all good to go. Thanks for joining me today, and should be showing you a little bit more of this in a little bit. All right, always looking for a clear spot to set the camera, because you know, not a lot of clear spots around here, as you can see. But I do have a spot right there. My goal was to make sure I get it dried off, and make sure we don't have any rust while we work on it. I don't expect to be spending too long a time on it, but just figured we'd clean it off, get the water off. This shifting linkage looks pretty good. Just needs to be cleaned up a little bit, but it actually looks like it's probably fairly new. So I'm happy about that. And I think, like I told you, somebody spent some time putting some goop in there, but it didn't actually really help. This one had leaks down both sides. So inside it looks decent. There wasn't a whole lot of oil in here or grease. It just looked dirty from maybe the time before. Like maybe they actually worked on this transaxle and they just didn't replace the boots. I mean the CVs, because CVs looked pretty worn, like they hadn't been redone. But very well could have just... This could be a different Transaxle altogether. It might not even be the original. And when they hooked it back up, they just put some new linkage on it and tried to seal it up. So these plastic pieces that are behind the stub axle are broken, kind of chipped, but they're plastic. So I'm not sure if they make aluminum ones now, but those are plastic. All right, I'm gonna sign off and work on this again on another day. Just wanted to get most of the standing water off of it. And this one's going to look real nice when we're done with it. Real nice. All right, have a good day. Thanks for catching us here on Mr. Smith Garage. Well, welcome back. I've been on this for a few days because I've had a couple other things that I did. You can see those videos. It's always busy here in Mr. Smith's Garage. So my task today really is getting this off of the bench here. So in order to do that, I want to make sure that I finish pulling the seals and reinstalling new seals so that I get a familiarize myself with how to do that, and get this done and get this off back underneath Jack so that it's out of the way so I can work on the jet ski, get the jet skis running before summer. I'm gonna have to pull that motor again, so there's gonna be a whole other series on the Sea-Doos. So anyway, let me clean this up so I get this all clean, and we'll be right back. Okay, the first part of this might be pretty easy. Little pick. There's a seal right here. I'm gonna pull this out. It should just pop right out, which it did. There we go. And that's it. It looked like it may have been leaking itself, but it's hard to say. I don't know if you remember if you go back to the videos on my axles, one of them was really juicy, like the grease inside in the CV. So these very well could have been leaking. All right, that's the first part of it. So next tool, we gotta get this. There's a pin in there. Let's see if we can get it. Oh, can't get it with that one. Aha. Got halfway. Let's get a screwdriver in there. Okay. Get another screwdriver out of here. There we go. Okay, so there's a pin in there. Snap ring. And my snap ring pliers don't actually fit in that space. So I ended up using this snap ring thing just to get an edge on it, and then using a screwdriver inside to kind of pull it off. Now, everybody has told me that this piece should come off, like should just come right off. In fact, I've even seen some videos where people just kind of pulled them right off. Look how easy that was. That was seriously easy. Oh, there's a washer in there. So don't forget you got a spring washer in there. It looks like it's loaded. Springy side in / out. So it goes to the inside. That's probably why that little lock washer was hard to get in and out of there. Look how nice that came off. Let's take a look and see. This one doesn't appear to be leaking from the inside. I don't know if you can see that, but no leaky in there. Seal's right underneath this. Notice there's a screw and there's this little metal plate there under the screw. Now this is a retainer. It retains the position of, this one's really rough, of the axle adjuster. There we go. Well, I'm glad I got new ones. Well, I didn't get new ones. I got recycled ones. I think I might have shown you these the other day, but I picked these up from my local Wolfgang. They're used, but they're better than mine. Mine are breaking apart. I know you can get them new on a couple different spots, but here's that seal. And I'm looking at this seal and it's not leaking. So I'm not going to pull this one out. I'll check the other side and see. But basically I'm going to clean this up. Put one of these back on there that's clean. And stick these back in. Put that back on. And put a new cap seal on it. Because this cap seal did appear like it was leaking. It had oil inside it there. So... yeah, that looks pretty good. There's an O-ring in there, and that looks pretty good. This looks pretty good. So really, I'm just going to clean these up a little bit more and stick that back in. Yeah, you hear that dirt? We don't want that dirt in there. So, all right, I'm going to flip around and check the other side. Okay, here's our other side. You can see it's a little gooped up, right? But again, the seal is just right underneath this. And I can only imagine they gooped it up because it was leaking. But let's see. Oh, you know what? This one doesn't look like it's leaking that much. The other one had quite a bit more fluid in there. Interesting. Yeah, this is the side, if I'm remembering correctly, this is the side that had the CV that was really goopy. So maybe they just had goopy grease in there. So that seal looks pretty good, but we'll replace it. Those seals are only $5, maybe. $5.95 right now. I don't know if you can see this clip a little bit better. There's the open part of the clip. do the same thing. Remember, I used these, but I just used it to get it spread. Make sure you're wearing safety goggles whenever you're doing these kind of pins. Or safety glasses, at least. That's what I've got on, is safety glasses, so I can see. Let's try it with this thing, see if I can just get it on the edge here. So I can see this is going to be a tough thing to do when it's up in the van. There it goes. You see that? I'm surprised it didn't shoot back out at me. Oh yeah, once again there's that little washer. Spring washer. And again, that one does not look like it was leaking either. Look how nice and dry that is. Huh. So based on what I see so far, I'm not going to replace the inner seal. I'm going to pull this off and just take a quick look here. Clean these up and paint them with some Pour 15. Yeah, that one looks pretty good too. A little dirty in there, but that's just dirt. It's dry, which is great. That's what you want, is something dry. No leakage around that seal. So once again, I'm going to put this one back on too. Without any further ado. I'm going to clean up this these metal pieces. These ones actually look not too bad. The other side were pretty rusty, but I'm just going to paint them with some Pour 15 so that they don't rust, and put these back together for now just to keep them clean. And yeah, and then we'll get this off there. Then we'll start working on the skis. I'm going to see if I can move you over here. That's a wrap for this one. So again, I'm going to clean it up, put it back together, stick it underneath the van. And the next series you'll be seeing from me is Sea-Doos. We're going to pull that engine out. I'm going to go through that process with you. I think last time I started with the carburetors, but then I don't think I really went through the whole process. So I'm going to go through the whole process of pulling that engine out. We'll have it up here on the bench, and I think we're going to have to rebuild the bottom end of it, because I think I've got a broken seal in the crank, or like a seal that's leaking in the crank that's pulling oil up into the intake. So it's hydro-locking the cylinders. New engine, 10 hours on it. That's another story altogether, but I'm not going to bag on who I bought it from, but it's kind of sad that I got a rebuilt motor, and the amount of money I spent on it, and that I'm rebuilding it after less than 10 hours of running it. So, but it's okay. We'll learn from it, right? And once again, thanks for joining me, Mr. Smith Garage. Subscribe, like, join me as I venture through different projects in the garage. And tell everybody that you know, so that I can get more subscribers and maybe do some live streaming. Thanks.